Okay. See, that's a big deal for me to know enough technology to hit the record button. uh, but for everybody on the line, my name is Cheryl Cortese. If you're joining us for the first time, uh, I've been with the Juice Plus Company now as a national marketing director for almost 34 years. And, I never thought that I'd grow up and this would be my profession, but what happiness and joy it's brought, background education, and then just for all of us, there are times when you meet with difficulty in life, and a financial difficulty can be very frightening. And this was an avenue for me to step out. I always love the stories. I think we're all about the stories. And tonight, just from a personal standpoint, I have to tell Jean how much her story touched my heart, almost to the point of tears, because, and I'll tell you a story that was very sad in my life. And of course, this was years before Juice Plus, many years. My mother had severe rheumatoid arthritis, and at 57, she died of complications from all the medication that they had her on. And so I was in my 20s. That's a really hard time. Anytime's a hard time. And that was a long time ago. But when I hear a story like Jean's, it just makes me so happy that we had something to do with helping someone avoid something which I saw as a horrible disease, a very painful disease, and one that was, something she couldn't get past. So, we don't make any claims, but it sure does make my heart happy when I see and hear the stories, but especially this story tonight was very touching to me, because as a company and, all of us in partnership sharing this with other people, we make differences in people's lives that we never realize how powerful they are, because we don't know what the other side of the story might be if it weren't for the courage that you have to share it with everybody. I love David just telling everybody he can find. And of course, I know it's under the threat that Charlene would kill him if he did. But anyway, I have to tell you about Charlene and Chandria. Chandria, the first time I saw them, they happened to come to our Q school. We do a qualifying national marketing director school, normally in Memphis, of course, when we're not forced into virtual. And they were just up and coming and rolling, and I didn't even know them. And these two bright stars of energy showed up in the training room, and they've been bright stars, all of you, ever since. So Charlene, I'm going to ask you to join with me. And the one thing I noticed about this group is they have fun, as well as, and that's what I've always loved about this business. When David said, you can, with this, you can make choices in your life, you can take control of your life. And I think more than ever, the two things that we all need to feel is that we have some control in our lives, and that we have connections. I read a statistic just seems like a day or two ago, of all the millions of people who are totally isolated at this point. And that, we're the people that can make the difference there. But Charlene, maybe you can just share with people a little bit about how y'all go about your businesses that are taking up through that marketing and continue to grow into position, and what you all do from a fun standpoint. Okay, Shirley?
Okay, I can. And you cut out just a little bit, Cheryl, when you were telling me what you wanted me to share. I want to make sure I get it right. Can you repeat just that one sentence?
Yeah, and I apologize. There's
It's
something
okay.
wrong with the internet here. I've got to get I guess, one of those tech guys, since I don't know what to do about it. But I would like for you to share with people, what your day-to-day operations look like, after you discovered the product and you decided this was something you wanted to put your energy into. What does that activity look like? And what do you all do? I know the one thing I've noticed being around Charlene is to have fun. They really have fun at what they're doing. So just share with people, if you can do that, we'll get started that way, and what day-to-day activity looks like and what you all do for fun.
Okay. Our day-to-day activity looks like is just like the ones on here said, is that we can't discriminate with people that we share it with. So prior to the pandemic, when we talk to anybody, I don't care if it's checking out at the grocery store or if we're having our tires put on, we share with them Juice Plus, because people need to be able to see the healthy revolution to be able to be healthy. Now, since the pandemic, what we do day to day is Chandria and I work with our team, and we reach out to someone. We reach out to someone every day to talk with them. It could be someone coming to repair something in the house, or it could be someone that we've talked with, or someone we see in our phone that we haven't talked to in a long time. But we don't sell them anything. We call, we talk to them, we find out how they are doing, and we just build a relationship. That's basically it. We build relationships with people.
So let's talk a little bit about building relationships, because once again, that fills many needs. Uh, People, again, needing support and friendship, especially at this time. Certainly we know, and I think David alluded to it as well, being immune strong, how important that is. So we know we've got something very valuable. But let's just talk a little bit about building relationships, because when you say even people that come into your home, my last 3 or 4 customers were people who were coming here to get something done for me, either clean carpets or my plumber has actually been on the product because this house has a lot of plumbing problems. And I say to him every once in a while, Dave, I think you have a room here, either because I see you here so often. But he can't go a day now, and I think he's in his 30s without his Juice Plus. So, but that didn't happen the first time folks show up. It's usually the friendship. So share with people kind of what it feels like and what is said as you do build relationships with people, because it's just building friends, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I remember Jay Martin said recently, he said, if you can't make them laugh, you can't make them buy. And I like to make people laugh, but of course, you meet somebody for the first time, that's not going to be the case at first. But what I do is I ask them, how are you doing during this time? You show genuine interest in them. And
Mhm.
when you ask people how they're doing, they will tell you. They will let you know. They will let you know the struggles. They will let you know if they have lost a loved one. And what I do and what we do is we show them empathy. We show them that we care about them. And sometimes it might be a 5-minute conversation, and all you have to do is just let them know, I am so sorry. We are all having a hard time right now.
Mhm.
And as the conversation goes on, what I normally do is just let them know I am a health coach. Because let's face it, with the Juice Plus company, we have products and we have a lifestyle, plant-based lifestyle where they can increase it. We are all health coaches. And I tell them I would love to be able to help you to get through this. And just those few words, it's amazing how people respond to it. And that's really, it's simple. That's what we do.
Well, and that's so powerful, because what you're saying here, and it's so important to hear, is that you really ask the person to tell you more or less what their wound is, what their fear is, what their listen. Talking about Jay Martin, years ago, I remember him saying, well, God made you with 1 mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Okay, because you're to listen twice as much as you speak. Okay, so but that authentic, how are you, and especially now. And if you think about it, for most of us, anytime we go out, we've had on a mask. It's very hard. People avoid each other's eyes with that. And so, I think people are starved for somebody to say, how are you? And it's very important to have that authentic listening. Again, if I think about it, I'll share just the story of the people who came to clean my carpet recently, because pandemic time, my family and the dog have been in the house for a year, and it's like, okay, we got to do something about these carpets. And these were big guys. They looked like they were in their 40s and 50s and strong. And then one of them said, I noticed you have, and of course, Juice Plus is sitting everywhere, but he said, I noticed you have this out. He said, it's really, I'm really thinking about, how are you staying healthy? How are you all, and nothing other than just asking. I really didn't know him. But then I asked him, like you said, about himself. I said, well, what about you? I said, how do you take care of yourself? and he goes to the gym and he's really wanting to stay healthy, but he's not sure how. So it leads into that conversation that's so important. And I think that's huge. But I said, look, now I'm gonna keep real close tabs on you. We're gonna talk often. Well, most times that doesn't happen. When you push the button on the internet to have something that you order delivered, it can come pretty fast, but there are no people that come with it. There's nothing that comes with it that says, how are you doing today? How did that work for you? And that could be anything from ordering, you know, dishwashing soap to
Yeah.
articles that we buy, and yet a person comes with this and somebody who's interested in caring, and don't ever undervalue the power, of people caring about other people. So Charlene, tell us some more. What goes on?
Okay, I was going to tell you this. This is what I do. I don't go to the grocery store a lot because I do like to stay sheltered in. But when I go, just in that few minutes, 5 minutes, you are checking out, right? It doesn't take long. Of course, it does me because I buy a lot of food, but it takes me longer. So I start talking to the person, just chit chatting and asking them, have you all been really busy? Have things been affected at your job here? What about your family? And they'll talk to me while they're checking out. Well, by the time I'm ready to put that credit card in, I have told them, I am a health coach and I am helping people to get healthy. And you would be surprised how many people say, oh, I'm looking for that. I have had them to write their number on the back of my receipt before I leave. And I tell them, I will send you some information. The few times that I've had someone take my groceries out to the car, many times now they don't even have enough personnel, but a couple of times I had big orders. And so someone took it out and I talked with them. They're usually young, but they are also looking for something. And I have also been able to tell them right then and there what I do. And I say, if I can send you a video. And I learned that from Rachel Smart. I go ahead and send them a video about the products right then and there. And that way I have their number and they are able to contact me as well. But all you have to do, this is the one simple thing that I found. Open your mouth and say something. Because I'm a registered nurse. The doctors and the nurses know now they do not have the solution. We all know that. We have something that can help. People believe in it when they get started. So that's why I do it, because I want to be able to let people know this is something that can help you.
And that's wonderful. I mean, because what you're doing is you're just going through the world taking names and numbers, okay? But you're doing it with heart, and you're doing it with caring. And I think that people feel so they feel frightened, even though it may not show on the outside. I think it has. You just said it. We've realized now that nobody has any, concrete answers other than let's take care of our bodies and be in the best health with being as immune strong as possible, and we bring that. So I think that's huge. And again, people love to have conversation, especially if you're asking about how they are. Also, I've found, Charlene, too, if somebody's doing something that, they're really good at their job, or boy, you're fast at this, you've gotten me through this checkout line in no time at all. Whatever it is you notice that someone's doing that is to be able to authentically compliment them. That's another thing that I find in talking to people as I go through my day or go through life. I've actually, and there've been a number of times, especially when we were in severe lockdown, where I'm calling to order things that may be, you might say, staples in my life. If I think about face cream, that's staple. Okay, that's a staple. You don't want to run out of stuff that you like to use personally. And it's the same thing. If I ask that person, it doesn't matter if I'm calling a store in New York City, Dallas or anywhere. Well, how are you doing there? What's it like? What is it like where you are and where you're working now? And so, Charlene, you've got it down. It's just asking people to tell you about themselves and being authentically interested in everybody. As you find, I'm finding the same thing, is that everybody is wanting to find a way to best take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us a little more about what you all do, as far as your uh, gatherings. Once you have someone who says, yes, I want the product, and then let's talk about those people that become team members for you. How do you stretch out and, locate those team members?
What we do is we talk with them and we share about the product, but we also share with them about the business because a lot of people do not want to go back to work. All the places now that are public, they have a help wanted sign up. So what we do is we let them know that this is where you can have extra income if you choose to, and see what they say. Now, what some of us have done is we've been doing Zoom events. Everybody's doing Zoom events, and people will come to the Zoom events because we're demonstrating how the products work. But also, Chandria and I and our team, we have had a cooking class for 2 years every Sunday. We show people how to cook because everybody's at home now. Everybody's cooking more, and especially last year. And so we had a big attendance of people just wanting to see how to how to cook food. Sometimes if you have individuals, especially if they work a lot, I do individual Zoom events with them, and others have as well, to show them the lifestyle, not just the product, but the lifestyle. Because when people know better, they can do better.
Mhm.
And by doing this, we're not discriminating against anybody. After you mentioned talking with someone on the phone, some people are really so happy to have a nice person to talk on the phone. And right now, people are talking, they're not rushing you off the phone.
That's
So
true.
you can also, yeah, you can also let them know that I'm a health coach. Would you like to know more? Is that something that you would like to improve in your health? And I give them my website address. Many of them are not willing because they're at work. They can't really share their information, but I give them mine.
Right. And see, that's wonderful, because and I love that term, I'm a health coach, because it's true. We all are. I mean, I've learned more over these years. We've had Juice Plus for almost 30 years now. I would have never known how to take care of myself in the manner in which I do if I hadn't, had this experience with the Juice Plus product and the information that comes around the Juice Plus product. I'm shocked sometimes at how much we've learned over these years and how we continue to learn about how to take care of ourselves. But you're so right too about people on the phone. There are times when, I have to call the credit card company and you talk, or I'm just, the few things I've had to talk today. I think the insurance company was one, to make sure I was insured since we had a big storm coming through New Orleans. But to ask someone, once you've gotten the main business done, again, well, how are you doing? And Charlene, you're so right. I mean, it's almost like they're shocked at first. And they're so used to having a very rote conversation of answer the questions, move on, answer the questions, that it's become so impersonal that I find they're almost shocked that you made it personal, and
Yeah.
yet very, very appreciative for it. And it's a wonderful way to kind of make friends long distance. And I love your idea too. And it's a wonderful way to have that information ready to send, whatever you choose. I've found over the years that whatever is appealing to me as far as our information, because there are a lot of things you can use as far as videos or info that you send. Whatever appeals to you is probably going to appeal to whoever you're talking to, because you have your heart connected to that. And people listen to your feelings much more so than any information that you would give them. I've learned that over the years, is that, people really listen to I guess what I'd call the heart song, but the feeling. And so, and one of our national morning bears, of course, I think that's upline to you too as well, Charlene, which is Cynthia Gompers. She talks about being dressed for success. And what dressed for success means for her is she carries around little Ziploc bags, would be, just some basic brochures that she likes and maybe a sample of gummies or something like that. But she's always got that with her, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, of those. So if she's talking to someone, she can leave it with them right there. And the other thing you're saying that you do, Charlene, that's so powerful is you get their information.
Yeah.
That's huge, because people will talk to you and they'll have the best intention of maybe reaching back out, but they won't, because they get busy, they get, some other things. I mean, think about what all of us, our day is like. I think since the pandemic started, I've got more to do than I've ever done. I feel like I'm cooking about 300 meals a day. I need to probably watch your show if we could get it down to that, a little less. But there's a family, there's people to take care of, there's Zoom calls, but you think everybody's life, for the most part, they've got a lot, that they have to handle. So you having their number and then following up and letting them know when you're going to follow up, and maybe having them commit to you when they're going to look at what you have that you're sending them, so that you can connect again. So tell us a little more as far as maybe how you maybe launch people or get them started once they are team members. And I'd like to even hear a little bit more about the cooking show, because are you teaching them maybe how to cook also and use Juice Plus, or tell us a little more about that, because that's a fun factor, you see, is they're doing something that people can find joy around.
Right, right. Yes, and what I was going to say also is that well, with the cooking, and then as far as the team members, Chandria and I like to make it fun for them. We involve them in things. We have our team meeting once a month with the group. We're in constant contact with them. Chandria, her downline, me, my downline, and we talk with them. And we also ask them, "How are you doing? How is your family doing?" And I was going to say, Cheryl, that I think all of us out of this whole 2 years, we're learning a lot, because we're learning not to just rush by people and not just to say hi, how are you, and not really mean it, not really want to listen. And I think we're learning to take a personal interest in people, because there are some people we know, they don't know us. They might not know about Juice Plus, about the healthy lifestyle. We cannot just expect them to say, "Oh, sure, I want this," after one time. We have to build trust in them. I have one person on the phone, and it took 3 months before she would even give me her personal email.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's leaving that particular position, and I've gotten to know her. And what she has told me, and also another one that Chandria and I have been working with, not with Juice Plus, but for business. And this person said, "You all are the nicest clients that I have." And she meant it. So it really makes a difference. So now this young lady who's leaving, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's her last day. I said, I really want to be able to stay in touch with you, because I want to help you with your health. She said, "Oh, don't you have my cell number?" And she gave it to me. And I always have a pen in my hand ready to write.
Right.
I wrote the number down so that I would have it. And so with the team, we teach them to do that. As far as the cooking, that is so interesting that you ask about the Juice Plus, including it, because I've been a nurse for over 40 years, and I actually have been a certified plant chef and a raw food chef for about 30 years. I trained in Italy, I trained in West Palm Beach.
Wow.
And so I know how to help people eat kale salad, eat quinoa. And I thought I was doing a fabulous job and helping people to stay healthy, until I learned that they were not getting the 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables that they needed. So with the cooking, yes, we do. I always make a recipe that includes the shakes. It can be a dessert, it can be a smoothie. And for this summer, we made ice cream. And I ate it right on camera. It was so good. So that's what's important. Yes, we can teach people how to cook, but it's not enough. They're not getting enough nutrients just from the food. They have to cook and they have to eat. So that's why Chandrea and I do it. But they also need the added. And Chandrea is a great moderator and she shows them the options with Juice Plus after we've showed them how to fill their belly. She's shown them the options and what we have. And it is something once people know, they listen to it. They listen to it. So I hope that answers both of your questions.
Well, it really does. And I'm enjoying this so much because I love to hear ways that people stay connected, because that's really what you're talking about. Staying connected, building the relationship, building rapport, building trust, and, really that people then, once trust is in place, there's loyalty that shows up after that as well. And it's very, very powerful. And something else you said I'd like to comment on is most people don't just jump in and buy Juice Plus or become distributors the first time they hear about it. It's almost, over the years, I've found, if that happens too fast, it usually goes away too fast.
Yeah.
Okay. But statistically, over the years, what I've found is that a person has to have at least 3 exposures, if not 5, before they make that decision to go forward. So, I'm looking at how we can create those, connections. If I talk about, what's the most important things that I've found that are foundational to my business is, you choose a plan of action, you create a strategy, and then you stay consistent. Consistent is probably the most powerful word. We've had a Monday night call for 32 years now, and we've never missed a Monday night. And the reason for that, and we started with 5 people, is that if you're consistent, eventually people are gonna, they'll continue to show up for it because they can depend on it. They can depend on something that feels good as and important to them. And so consistency is very important. But the other thing that's so important is connected, stay connected. And that's what you're talking about too, is staying connected to people in ways that feel good and that they can participate in. I also loved what you just said, and it's so important. And I think we forget this many times. When a person becomes a team member or distributor or partner, whatever we want to call it, it's really just it's a small step above customer, or it might happen for me a lot of times because I like to share both the product and the business together always, if I possibly can, is many times they'll become a customer and a distributor at the same time. And I see sometimes that people, once someone's a distributor, it's almost like they just take for granted that person's going to go and just know whatever they're supposed to do. Okay. And then leave them many times to their own resources. But I think what you said here about you stay connected to your team members and you ask them, how are they doing?
Yeah.
How are they doing at this time? Make sure that you continue really making sure that they're personally you're personally shining a light on them, is how are they doing? How is life? How is your family? How are people handling this? Are you okay? I find that makes a big difference as well. What else, Charlene? You've got great, great information here. Tell us some more.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just been a pleasure. And Chandra and I both have enjoyed so much the time that we have been with Juice Plus. It is a great community. And to be able to be on a team where we get personalized attention from ones like you, Cheryl, and from Rachel Smart, Mary Deary, the others, has been an invaluable help. Uh, I have to repeat some words that Chandria told me as I close. She said, we were a mess before Juice Plus. That's what she told me one day. I said, you're right, because we can think better, we have more energy, we're making better decisions because of the change. But that was it. We were a mess before Juice Plus. So we are doing so much better now.
Well, y'all aren't a mess anymore. You're absolutely those to be inspired too, you know, you would someone that we would all want to emulate. And I really appreciate you sharing with us tonight. I think that the message tonight is just be yourself, be authentic, care about people. You know, you heard it in the stories, you heard it from David, you know, you listen to the stories and just think about the power, how powerful you are and what you can do for other people. And I've always, you know, I started this at a time when I was really financially desperate. But once you begin to be able to breathe financially, one of the things I realized is this is more than just a profession, it's a calling. There's almost a moral responsibility that goes along with, you know, if I think about the stories I heard tonight, you know, I'm just so proud of the fact that somebody like Jeff Roberti, my sponsor, you know, had the courage to tell people every day that he, in reaching for his own excellence in his own life, opened the door for me and for so many other people to have so much more in life than we would have had otherwise.
Yeah.
Think about the power you have there. How many doors do you open? And not just for the person that you're talking to, but then how many doors will they open? And the people that they get, how many doors will they open to create a better life for other people? And we couldn't be in a more powerful time as far as what we have to offer, or in a time where we're more needed than we are right now. And for all the obvious reasons, you know, the need for really strong immunity, the need to help people. And I think, you know, Charlene, you referred to it, is that, you know, people have had a little time to think like, do I want to get up every day? I know this was my a physical therapist I went to, and he said, every day I left the house at 5:30 in the morning. I didn't get back till 7:30 in the evening. That was 5, sometimes 6 days a week. I didn't see my children. They're growing up without me. And maybe I could do this physical therapy 3 days a week and have something else that would allow me. So people are shifting in the way that they want to create and shape their lives. And we can be of great support to that in a wonderful way and help so many people at the same time. So I'm going to encourage you all to have the courage to do exactly what Charlene said and what I'm hearing from so many of you, everywhere you are. And I love the health coach idea as well. But let's just make it a mission to ask people how they're doing and how are their families, because I think will open a lot of doors that may have some real wounds behind them that nobody would ever know if they hadn't asked. So Charlene and all of you who spoke tonight, blessings to you. Thank you so much. I always enjoy working with you so much. And so good night, everyone. And, you know, where conference is concerned, you know, if you own conference virtually, I will be on it virtually. You know, the company's thrilled with that. If you happen to be in the vicinity and are there, that's fine too. But do whatever feels comfortable and good for you. But let's, as a unit, let's be the greatest power on the earth, because we're here for the good of all. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night,
Good night.
y'all.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Great call, Cheryl.
Night,
Good night.
everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night,
It was
everybody.
great.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night,
It was
everyone.
Thank you
wonderful.
all.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jean.
So much.
Thank you all.
Good night. Good
Thank you,
night.
Maynard. Good night.
Good
Night.
night, Maynard. You
Night.
did a
Awesome
Good
great
night,
call.
job.
everybody. Thank you for
Wonderful
Good
talk.
night.
coming.
Good night,
Thank you very
everybody.
much.
Good night.
Thank you,
night.
Maynard.
All of you.
Good
Great job.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, Cheryl.
Good night.